he has mentioned that he would send somebody to my house if he found out that I was dating somebody else.
Your Honor, so the state is here asking for a final order in this case. There really isn't much in dispute. Ms. Jones and her counsel, Mr. Lopez, are here. Mr. Golston is not. We believe the evidence will show that Mr. Golston has been incarcerated since May 12th, 2022. I'll be introducing a TDCJ record soon to establish Mr. Golston's incarceration. We do have a number of issues before us today. On the overarching issue of parentage, we have a genetic testing report showing that Mr. Golston is not excluded as the father of the child in this case. An issue that was not pled for but has been raised is that of non-disclosure. We would request that the court consider that issue sua sponte, or alternatively to allow the state time to amend its pleading to add that issue. We pled also for name change, but it appears that that issue is moot because the child's last name includes that of both parents, hyphenated. On the issues of conservatorship, we believe Ms. Jones is seeking sole managing conservatorship and visitation at her discretion, which the state does not oppose. Given Mr. Golston's incarceration, we believe it is reasonable to find child support, medical support, and dental support to be $0 per month effective June 1st, 2022. Ms. Jones is also seeking retroactive child support, medical support, and dental support judgments as well. There may be some disagreement between myself and Ms. Jones about the retroactive medical and dental support, but other than that, there really isn't a whole lot of disagreement. And I'll be planning to call Ms. Atha as a witness to assist us on the retroactive child support issue. Thank you.
All right, then, Mr. Lopez.
Yeah, Your Honor, I'll keep mine short and sweet. Pretty much everything that Ms. Hopin said, I agree with. The evidence will show, and we'll go into a little more detail with my client, that Mr. Golston has been incarcerated since May 12th of 2022 on manslaughter charge, and was sentenced to 12 years, currently, of which he has only served about 2 and change. So he is going to be incarcerated, I think, for the foreseeable future, which is why the state is asking for, you know, zero child support and medical support to be ordered currently, and we are fine with that. And it is also why we are asking for the sole managing conservatorship and visitation at my client's discretion. Beyond the manslaughter charge, what you will also hear is that before that happened, Mr. Golston was not a very involved father, pretty much only seeing the child about 15 times from the age of birth in 2019 until he was incarcerated. And the evidence will also show that all of those times happened only because my client helped facilitate those visitations, not because Mr. Golston was actively trying to see his child. And yes, the one issue that we were asking for that was not pled for was non-disclosure. Based off of the fact that it is a manslaughter charge, we would ask this court to consider ordering that so he does not have my client's address information. I understand it's not a family violence. That act was not committed towards my client or the child, but just given the gravity of those charges and that he was convicted of those charges, we would ask for that non-disclosure, Your Honor, and that shall be all.
All right, thank you. All right, then, Mr. Lopez, it's my norm on this to grant based on that type of charge. Well, most felony convictions, I will name it's my norm to name the custodial party sole MC, name the dad possessory, but don't give him any rights under possessory conservatorship until after he gets out of incarceration, and give the court some information on what his terms and conditions of parole are or what the circumstances are. So I just can't tell the future, so I don't take a chance with that. I also don't order any visitation of that type of order. I'll leave that to the sole discretion of the sole managing conservator until further order of the court. That's just the norm. Again, when, like I said, people get out of prison all the time, and they got all kind of different terms and conditions. So it just covers and this order is just meant to cover until they can come back before the court and show what they're entitled to or what they should be getting. So based on, so don't have to worry about those two issues, but everything else we'll go ahead and verify with testimony and get this one taken care of. So at this time, Ms. Atha, Ms. Jones, both please raise your right hands, please. All right, do you both solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
you're both
sir.
officially under oath, and I'm going to go ahead and let the state call your first witness, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Ms. Atha first. Ms. Atha, can you please state your name for the record?
Brianna Atha.
And Your Honor, does she need to be qualified?
Yes, this is the first one today, believe it or not.
Hey, okay. So Ms. Atha, where do you work?
I work for the Office of the Attorney General as a child support officer.
Thank you. And what are your job duties in that position?
I'm typically responsible for negotiating child support orders to include establishment and modifications, assisting with locating absent parents, wage investigations, and assisting customers through inquiries.
Thank you. And did you perform a wage investigation in this case?
Yes, I did.
And what were your findings?
So for Mr. Golston, wage information was pretty limited. I was able to find wage information for Q2 of 2020 in the amount of $2,231.53. So that's below minimum wage on a monthly basis. And then for Q3 of 2020, it was $5,436.72. That was going to be $1,812.24 gross monthly.
Thank you. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, ma'am?
I believe that's all I have.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
All right, Mr. Lopez, your witness.
No questions of this witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Hopkins can, Ms. Jones, I'm sorry, Ms. Jones can't be excused, maybe Ms. Atha be excused. Thank you.
She may. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You're free to go. Call your next witness, please.
Sure, I'll call Ms. Jones, please.
All right, Ms. Jones, take your full name for the record, ma'am.
Carrie Lashawn Jones.
All right, thank you very much. You may proceed at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Jones, what is the name and date of birth of your child in this case?
His name is Keegan Layell Golston Jones, birthday February the 26th, 2019.
Thank you. Who's the father of that child?
Cordarius Tyrell Golston.
All right, Your Honor, at this time I'd offer as State's Exhibit number 1, the DNA test report.
All right. Mr. Lopez, any objection to States 1?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, States 1's admitted. States 1 shows that Mr. Golston could not be excluded as a biological father. Probability of paternity is 99.9999997, which is within the guidelines set forth by the Family Code for establishing paternity. It is so established at this time. You may proceed.
Thank you. And Ms. I apologize, Ms. Jones, do you know where Mr. Golston is today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, where is he?
Mr. Golston is in Styles Unit in Beaumont Prison.
All right, Your Honor, at this time I'd offer as State's Exhibit number 2, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice record.
All right, Mr. Lopez.
No objection, and Your Honor, the state did send me all their proposed exhibits. I'll stipulate that I have no objection towards the exhibits that they sent me earlier today and have no objection.
All right, so States 2 is admitted. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So Ms. Jones, is it your understanding that Mr. Golston was arrested on November 23rd, 2018 for the offense of manslaughter?
I believe he was actually incarcerated after that.
Okay, but in terms of arrest, do you know if he was arrested on or about November 23rd, 2018 for manslaughter?
I think he
And if
was
you're not
arrested.
sure of the date, that's understandable.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the date, but I think the offense happened on November 2018. I don't believe that he was arrested until probably a year after that.
Got it. Okay. So is it your understanding that Mr. Golston has been continuously incarcerated since May 12th, 2022 when he was sentenced?
This is correct.
Okay. So our petition in this case was filed in April of 2024, on April 2nd, 2024. Going back 4 years from that date, do you know of when Mr. Golston may have been out on bond during the period from April 2nd, 2020 through May 12th, 2022?
Can you re-ask the question?
So sorry. It's a lot. Yeah. Do you know when, after he was initially charged with this crime in approximately 2018 or 2019, do you know when he might have been on bond for the offense?
I would say he got out on bond in 2020.
You know approximately when, and it's okay if you're not sure.
I'm not 100% sure, no.
Got it. And do you know if he was his bond, I guess eventually once he was sentenced in May of 2022, that he was no longer a free man?
Correct.
Okay. So one of the issues before us today concerns the issue of non-disclosure, and that's whether your phone number, email address, and home address will be listed on the order that we issue in this matter. Do you wish for that information to be in the order?
I wish for my address to be removed from the order.
Is it just your home address or your phone number and email as well?
I believe that he already knows that information, just not my home address.
Okay. And do you have any safety concerns with that information being in the order about your home address?
Yes.
Okay, and what are those concerns?
He has mentioned that he would send somebody to my house if he found out that I was dating somebody else.
And have you made any police reports based on any threats or any actions on Mr. Golston's behalf?
No.
Okay, and do you know if there's a protective order in place between
No.
you and Mr. Golston? Okay. And then, okay, I think those are all the questions I have on non-disclosure. And is it correct that your child's last name includes both your and Mr. Golston's last names?
Yes, this is correct.
Do you know if Mr. Golston has any other children?
I do not believe he has any other children.
Okay, and then let's shift gears a little bit. Did you hear Ms. Atha's testimony earlier about her wage investigation?
Yes.
And did you have any reason to disagree with her findings?
I do not.
Okay. And is it correct you're seeking back or retroactive child support, medical support, and dental support in this case?
That's correct.
And during the period, and I know this is challenging, it's a long time ago, during the period from April 2nd, 2020 through May 11th, 2022, how were you providing health insurance to your child?
I was paying for the health insurance.
Okay. And was this through employment?
Both through employment, and at some point it was through the marketplace.
Okay. And I know it's difficult, but how much were you paying for that coverage? And you can estimate if you're not sure.
I think, sorry, my computer's getting ready to die. I'm about to close it. Okay. I believe between me and my son, I was paying approximately $500 or more a month.
And do you know approximately how much of it was for your child?
I do not remember. I did send in some papers that would kind of show the difference.
Got it. And I understand, Your Honor, we didn't offer those into evidence just because we weren't sure that they really had the precise.
Okay, well, technically she can testify to him with nobody here to check. You can rock and roll. All right. We know you. Absolutely. The three people sitting here were smiling, know the all four, and the fourth person know the rules. So there you go.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then, so was it throughout that period from April 2nd, 2020 through May 11th, 2022 that you were paying this out-of-pocket expense for your health insurance for your child?
Yes.
And then during the period from April 2nd, 2020 through May 11th, 2022, how are you providing dental insurance to your child?
Through work or through the marketplace?
Got it. And approximately how much were you paying for that coverage?
I believe that was around $20 or less.
Per month?
Yes.
And is that for your child?
Yes.
Okay. Should say for just your child, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. And then how much do you pay currently? Or let me go back. How are you providing health insurance for your child now?
I pay through the marketplace.
And approximately how much do you pay just for your child? Well, actually, let me do this, Your Honor. At this time, I'm going to offer State's Exhibit number 3.
All right, the council's already agreed to that, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark 3, and it is admitted. Thank you.
So, Ms. Jones, that document reflects that you pay for your child only currently $327.25 for health insurance. Does that sound correct to you?
That sounds correct.
And then, Your Honor, save some time. I'm offering Exhibit 4. This is a document dealing with dental insurance.
Okay, State's 4 is admitted. You may proceed.
Thank you. So how are you currently providing dental insurance for your child, Ms. Jones?
This is also through the marketplace.
And that document reflects that you're paying $39.40 for the dental insurance for your child. Is that correct?
This is correct.
Okay. And then are you providing health or dental insurance for any other children?
No.
Your Honor, I pass the witness at this time. Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Thank you very
Thank
much. Mr. Lopez, your witness.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll be brief. Miss Jones, did you get to hear my opening?
Yes.
And you get to hear Miss Hopin's opening?
Yes.
And were you in agreement with all of the issues as I stated them, what we were asking the court for today?
I agree.
And one of those is sole manage. You're asking for sole managing conservatorship due to Mr. Golston being incarcerated,
Yes.
and he's incarcerated on a manslaughter charge.
Correct.
He's sentenced for 12 years,
Correct.
which he started serving May 12, 2022.
Correct.
And for the first 2 years of the child's life, so from 2019 to 2020, how many times would you say that Mr. Golston saw his child?
Approximately 5 times.
And were any of those for more than 4 hours?
No.
Were all of those visitations happen in Dallas?
This is correct.
And is that where Mr. Golston lived?
This is correct.
Did he ever make a concerted effort to try and come down to Killeen to visit his child?
He did not.
All the times that he saw him in Dallas, were you always around?
This is correct.
And then between 2020 and then 2022, when he was finally incarcerated, how many times would you say that he saw his child?
I would say less than 10 times.
And again, all of these were facilitated by you,
Correct.
and either you or a family member were always around during these times.
This is correct.
And again, during this period, were there any times where he had the child more than 24 hours at a time?
No, he did not.
And because of those reasons, as well as his incarceration for the foreseeable next several years, you're asking this court to appoint you sole managing conservator
This is correct.
to order a possession, or not really order possession and access schedule, but essentially any visitation and access that Mr. Golston should have will be at your sole discretion.
This is correct.
And again, this can all be modified once he gets out, if he wishes to, or if you wish to at that point.
Correct.
We are also asking for that non-disclosure, $116 of retroactive child support between April of 2020 and then May of 2022 when he was incarcerated. Is that right?
This is correct.
And that number was, we got to that number by the child support officer's investigation, and then also doing minimum wage presumption for the months that we didn't have information on, correct?
Correct.
And then the numbers that we talked about with Ms. Hopins for health insurance, again, same dates, came out to around $3,088.
Correct.
And then for dental, it came out to, I believe, $518.
Correct.
And again, this is the best, these are the best calculations we were able to do given the limited information we had on either Mr. Golston's resources, and then also the records from several years ago now that were available to us. Is that right?
This is correct.
Do you believe that all the things we are asking for here today? Oh, sorry, this one, I always keep forgetting this one. You're asking this court to adjudicate Mr. Golston as Keegan Alel Golston Jones as the father of your child?
Correct.
Are you asking for all the other relief that the state and we have pled for be granted here today?
Please.
And do you believe all of this would be in the best interest of your child?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right then, folks, I'm looking at granting everything here today. The problem I am having is with the non-disclosure. I definitely go ahead and grant it on attempt. Probably will ask the state to go ahead and reset this on the as far as a final order. I don't think even just make sure it's in the temporary order, and that the court will take up all issues in that temporary order going forward at the final. That way it's there. And he'll be and send him notice at his last known address. Well, through the Texas Department of Criminal Justice of the final hearing, and put it for more than 45 days out. I hate to do it like that, but I'm probably gonna have to do it. But everything else you're asking for, I'm granting. I'm looking at naming you, ma'am, sole managed conservative, giving you the exclusive right to domicile. That right's unrestricted. In the temporary order, no non-disclosure is granted based on the circumstances of the father. And the fact that this gentleman shot 2 people and 1 died. So yeah, definitely has a violent streak going there. I'm gonna go ahead and or like I say again, order the retroactive child support, retroactive cash medical, and retroactive dental as requested for the time periods the father was out of jail. I'll order repayment on the retroactive child support in the amount of $100 a month starting the first day of March 2020. I got started March 1st, 2025. I'll order repayment on the cash medical at $50 a month starting on the first day of March 2025, and on the dental at $35 a month starting the first day of March 2025. I'll go ahead and again, like I said, name mom's sole MC, dad possessory, but I'll reserve the right to give dad any rights under possessory conservatorship until he's actually out of incarceration, and can give the court the data necessary so the court can see what rights he can have based on his terms and conditions of at that time would be parole. So I'm assuming he will get out on parole. If he gets out on a general release and on a final release with no parole, then he can come back in and give the court an update on his current circumstances. At that point, the court can make orders that are appropriate. But until then, that's what the court's going to go with. Obviously, I'm waiving court costs on this gentleman due to the fact he is incarcerated. Is there any, do I need to clarify for you anything on this one, Ms. Hopins?
Yeah, just make sure I understand. So obviously parentage, you're finding that he is
I'm finding he is the father based on the DNA. I already did that based on the 99.9999. Yeah.
And name change is not necessary.
No name change is necessary. No.
And then non-disclosure, is that reserved, or are you making a preliminary?
I'm making a preliminary on the at this time. I'm going to find that based on his current situation, non-disclosure on the temporary order is granted, but I'll reset this for a final hearing, and I'll ask you and Mr. Lopez agree on a morning. Y'all come back in and get this one taken care of. Probably pretty much in default again, especially if we don't and if we don't hear anything from the gentleman, or if he doesn't show up, obviously the court will just go ahead and make that this temporary order the final order of the court.
And did you want me to amend the pleading to add that issue?
No, let's put it in, leave it as is in the order and let him know that we're coming in and dealing with the found, all issues in the, all issues in this order are temporary except the retroactive child support, cash, medical, and dental, and all issues will be determined, will be finalized or determined at the final hearing. Okay? That's a wink to you, okay? There you go.
I understand. Well, and then in terms of, I just wanted to let you know, because Mr. Lopez mentioned this. I just want to mention that we calculated this $3,088 for retroactive medical for the period of, I believe it's April 2nd, 2020 through June 11th, 2022. And we based that, since we didn't have more concrete information, we based it on the cap, the 9% cap.
Right.
For the income, just so you're aware of that. And then
Okay.
what Mr. Lopez said was correct about child support. So we had some information, but what we mostly based it on, aside from the third quarter of 2022 or 2020, excuse me, aside from the third quarter of 2020, when we did have some earnings, and then the second quarter of 2020, there was just, it was below minimum wage. Aside from the third quarter of 2020, we used minimum wage.
Right. That's what I figured. Yeah, we only had that one quarter with any viable information. That's the only one you can use. Okay. But thanks for clarifying that to the court.
Sure. And the same for, I was just gonna let you know, dental is the same. Yeah, we used.
All right, use the 4.5%, right? Okay.
But I appreciate it. Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. Anything else, Mr. Lopez?
That's it, Your Honor. We'll look to get some reset dates with Ms. Hopins, and then we'll come back and finish this off.
All right. Thank y'all very much. And I'm sorry, I usually ask may the other parties excuse, but since you got a lawyer, y'all get to leave, okay? So
well, Your Honor, may I ask one? I apologize, just to make sure I got this on the record. $0 for child support, medical support, dental support, effective June 1st, 2022. Is that right?
Correct. The date that you stated was the incarceration.
Excellent. Yeah, right. He went in. I think it was like May 12th.
Okay. All right, so yeah, if he went in May, if he was out on the first day, but not on the last, that's what I look at, the first day of the next month. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank y'all all very much. And like I said, the state will circulate that order and get y'all taken care of. Ms. Hopins, you want them to hang around and try to do that today, or do you want to just send it out to Mr. Lopez?
Yeah, since it's so close to 5, yeah, I'll go ahead and excuse them. And Mr. Lopez, I will be in touch with you soon.
All right, thank y'all. All right, thank y'all very much. And Ms. Jones, Mr. Lopez will let you know what that date is. Obviously, y'all can come to the agreement 45 days out and let the gentleman see the information concerning the child support, the cash medical. And like I said, that's final. But the sole MC, possessory MC, and the non-disclosure, that's all coming back before the court, and we'll give them 45 days notice on that, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you all very much, and we're off the record.